In this video, we're going to talk about Venco Ventures, trading under the ticker symbol BBIG. So, BBIG is a joint venture between Venco and Zash Global Media, and they recently purchased a video platform called Lomotive. This platform's app has 225 million downloads so far and more than 31 million active users. So, right there, we have a good base of users for this platform and to which monetization strategies can be deployed later. But the most important reason why it attracted a lot of attention from investors is because it recently expanded into India, a place where TikTok is banned. It's also the world's second most populous country. So, this is a potentially huge development in the future price direction of the stock. Essentially because a lot of investors are assuming that the app is going to fill in the gap left by TikTok. The company is also catching the trend of blockchain-based economies and even released albums for artists using non-fungible tokens. With all that being said, let's take a step back and see for ourselves if the company should be on our buy list, and if so, for how much. You see, what I just mentioned above is just the fundamental portion of the stock. There's also the trading mentality that we should put some emphasis on. Ultimately, your trades will yield you profits or losses depending on the difference between the price points when you bought and you sold it. You make profit if you sold higher than when you bought them. Those stocks, fundamentally speaking, may be very promising, but if the hype train took over all the potentials of gain, then it definitely should be dealt with more care. Right now, the question is whether the stock will keep rising, and if so, for how long. I think that the stock does have the potentials of going higher, even if it is approaching a historical high at the moment, or actually above many of the historical highs, if we look at its past. We just have to remember what happened to Bionano Genomics back in late 2020 to have an idea why that may possibly happen. I mean, sure, sometimes the stock can go up and it'll keep going up for quite a ride, regardless of where the resistance levels are. Now, that was in 2020 and we're no longer there. We're in 2021 after a massive sell-off of the growth stocks, and more importantly, with a greater number of people who are more eager to take quick profits off the ambient speculation instead of holding on their stocks. Some of the reason why investors behave like this is because of stocks like Lucid Motor. At one point, the stock probably doubled in value compared to the cost people bought it at, and then, because they didn't sell it in time, they got trapped in their position, and probably are still trapped in it, or got out at a huge loss. This is what I believe is likely going to occur. Basically, people buy up the hype train and will cause the stock to rise higher than where it should be, and then results in a massive pullback that'll scare off other investors. But in trading, we have to predict all sorts of different outcomes, and I think that our trading strategy should take into consideration both scenarios. The first one is that it'll soon keep rising, and the second one is a massive pullback followed by a gentle recovery over the next few months. Given the situation, we should probably keep a little bit of exposure in the stock, not enough to profit significantly, but enough to calm our own FOMO. And then we should wait for the stock to pull back, and each time the stock drops to a cliff, a new batch of stocks should be bought. Now, here's the thing. This trade only works, like what I explain here only works if your assumption is that the stock will go higher, that the stock is bullish overall. If you're not sure about this, if you think that the stock will probably tank over the next few weeks, then I would suggest you to play on the options market instead to hedge out the risk by buying put options. My recommendation for maximum exposure in Venco Venture is below 1% of your portfolio. Thank you for watching. If you like my content, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel.